If you think everything has to be done from scratch, then you really aren't valuing your own time. And let's be honest, if you don't value your time, then how can you expect anyone else to? Hey there, and welcome to the Bringing Business to Retail podcast. If you're looking to get more sales, more customers, master your marketing, and ultimately take control of your retail or e-commerce business, then you're in the right place. I'm Selena Knight, a retail growth strategist and multi-award-winning store owner whose superpower is uncovering exactly what your business requires to move to the next level. I'll provide you with the strategies, the tools, and the insight you need to scale your store. All you need to do is take action. Ready to get started? Hey there, and welcome to the Bringing Business to Retail podcast. Super excited that you could join me here today. Right now, I'll have to admit, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. This morning, I woke up at 3 a.m., literally having an anxiety attack. My heart was racing, my brain was racing, and I had to grab my phone out and put a meditation on so I could fall back asleep. Why does everything always seem worse at 3 o'clock in the morning? Now that it's daytime and I think about what I was worrying about at 3 o'clock in the morning, which I'll share with you in a moment, the thing is, there was nothing I could do about it at the time. And actually, everything was pretty much under control. And the good thing is, looking at it now, I can kind of see that it was a reality check. It is so easy to say, don't be stressing about things that you can't control, or if you have a fantastic team, they'll take care of everything for you. But the fact is, we're all human, and I am one of those people too. So what was I stressing out about at 3 a.m.? Well, we are 2 weeks out from Reed gift fairs. Hey, are you coming to see us at the stand for a complimentary strategy session? I hope so. You can grab it at scaleyourstore.com/Reed. Okay, so we're getting ready for Reed gift fairs. I have this huge wooden crate currently sitting in my garage that has all the stuff that needs to be transported down. I've had quotes from the transport company and I need to book it in. And I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning freaking out that I needed to ship this crate. The thing is, I already knew that. It was literally the thing I had to do when the company opened at 8 a.m. Now, as I record this, I am stressing out a little bit because I have emailed and called multiple times and the guy who was in charge of my quote is not replying. So yes, I am getting a little bit of anxiety about that. But the fact is, I used some of my time while I had my COVID jab and you have to wait for 15 minutes. I had my number 4 in preparation for having to be at a very large event. I'm trying to do everything I can. So while I was waiting my 15 minutes, I used that time on my phone to go and get some more quotes for the freight. So realistically, it's all covered. If the first company doesn't sort it out, tomorrow morning, I'll just get somebody else to do it. Now, I am also doing a lot of presenting in the upcoming weeks. This week, I'll be at Online Retailer. Again, make sure you come and say hi if you're an online retailer in Sydney, where I'll be podcasting for the whole day on Thursday with lots of amazing people. And I'm also doing 2 sessions down in Melbourne. I'm doing a session in Life in Style called How to Build a Brand That Chain Stores Can't Compete With. And I'm doing a session at Reed Gift Fairs at the Retail Therapy Lounge called Simple but Highly Effective Ways to Get Your Customers Back. Now, I actually have those 2 presentations written. I've done them before, but I pulled them out and thought, you know what? It's time to dust them off and have a look because it's been a couple of years since we did live events. And I realized that the world has changed. And one of the things most people are concerned about right now is recession-proofing their business. And in fact, if you are coming to TRA Live, the Retail Academy Live, then that is what our whole conference is about, how to recession-proof your retail and e-commerce business. So I'm looking at these 2 presentations and I realized that I need to change them out. I need to really focus on what people are dealing with right now and what they're likely to be encountering in the next 3, 6, and 12 months as we head into a recession all around the world. And so, as you can expect, my to-do list for today was pretty long. I mean, rewriting an entire presentation, a 40-minute presentation, usually takes me a couple of weeks. So I've been focusing on those, doing the freight, trying to organize my questions so that I come very prepared for my guests at Online Retailer. A lot of brain space has been used. And all of this by 9 o'clock this morning. So fast forward to our weekly stand-up team meeting, which happens at 10 o'clock. And the lovely Joed, our business manager, points out that there is no podcast ready for this week. We did have somebody planned to record about a week or two ago, but they had to move their schedule and I was supposed to record something over the weekend, but I got a little bit busy. And so I've got a couple of options when it comes to today's podcast. One is I simply just don't put a podcast out this week. I don't really like doing that. Even though sometimes it can feel like you are shouting out to the void and you wonder if there is anybody on the other end of the headphones, I know that there are people listening to this podcast because they email, they text, they DM. And I know that a lot of people use this podcast to grow their business. And I don't take that lightly. I am humbled by the fact that people use this information to grow their business. But I also know that I need to be a good leader. I need to show up and do the work. So occasionally we might let some time skip. And that's generally when we take a break. Every now and then, every couple of years, we might take 3 or 6 weeks off. And, that's not a bad thing. But my next option was to rerun an old podcast. Now, I'm actually okay with that because we have, I think, probably over 400 episodes now. I don't think there's anybody out there who's listened to every single one of them. You might come close, but the fact is there are episodes that you probably haven't heard that could still help you today. In fact, there are episodes you may have heard, but at the time they weren't where you were at. But if you hear them again now, they will help you to grow and move your business forward. So I'm totally okay with rerunning an old podcast. Or my third option is to repurpose some content. Yep, you heard that right. I value my time. I value your time. And I want to be a good leader. And it would be remiss of me to tell you that I decided to go and record a brand new podcast from scratch at 7 p.m. at night because I don't want to be recording a podcast at 7 p.m. at night. But I still want to show up and I still want to help you grow. And so what I decided to do was pull out one of our previous strategy sessions where we talked about customer journey and marketing. Because whilst you might not have realized, we actually run the podcast on the 5 core pillars of retail success: money, sales, customers, marketing, and impact. And so every week we have a guest that falls into one of those categories. And we have a roster: money, sales, customers, marketing, impact. So this week is the marketing pillar. So it came to me that there was a session that I was thinking about and I dug it out and I found it. Now, the only people who will have heard this episode are the people who were on that strategy call. And there's far more people, there's thousands of more people out there listening to this podcast that weren't on that call. And so what I have decided to do is take you behind the scenes of what happens in our mentoring programs and just give you a little bit of a taste of what happens at those sessions and how we really do freely share information between the people who are in the group and how that helps other people. Okay, so maybe I might see you at Online Retailer this Thursday, or maybe we will see you down at Reed Gift Fairs in Melbourne next week. And if you cannot come to see us live in person at Reed Gift Fairs, check your email because the amazing Maria Elena has actually emailed out everybody who's on our database and offered them the chance to get that same strategy session online. But it is only available for 1 week. So if you subscribe to our newsletter, make sure you check it out because in the email, the one about Reed Gift Fairs, there is also a link to book a call in with our team to grab one of these very limited virtual strategy sessions. Okay, let's jump into today's episode. I'm just going live on my phone here, live from Online Retailer. Yay! Before we jump in, I just want to quickly talk about what's going on here in Online Retailer and how it can help you in your business. So the biggest thing that I think is kind of the key right across every presentation that I've been to is that it is no longer feasible to have a one-size-fits-all business. Matt's in bed. You can still come on in bed. I'm at a conference. It's no longer feasible to, and you know I've been saying this for quite some time, but you cannot just be treating every customer like they're the same. At the end of the day, they're not. You can have what is your ideal customer, what you think your perfect customer is, but all those people are going to be different in some way. And it really is about keeping an eye on your data. So first of all, making sure that you're tracking data. So making sure that you're looking at your website analytics, making sure that you're looking at your Klaviyo or your MailChimp or whatever email service provider you're using. Make sure you're looking at that and actually seeing what the reports are saying. Trying out different tools like predictive sending. It's called different things, but predictive sending is basically, it allows the AI to work out when people are most likely to open. So that may be different for you than it is for me. And you will know that if you've got parents who are your key customers, maybe some of them prefer to log on at 9 o'clock in the morning and some prefer to log on at 3 o'clock while they're waiting to pick their kids up and they're sitting in the car. Life gets in the way. So the thing is, we have all this stuff available to us now as independent retailers. Once upon a time, they were only available, and just, I have to say, in the last 4 years since I've been attending conferences, we've gone from this kind of amazing AI that was only at enterprise level. So, 100, 200K a year to get data for one subset of your business. Now finding places like Klaviyo, and I know a few of you just commented on the Klaviyo post that I put up a couple of weeks ago, and a few new people have come in and commented on it. The stuff that's inside of there, 3 or 4 years ago, you would have been paying 100K for. And now you're getting it for $70 a month. It's just included in the package. So it really is important to be testing out different things in your business, even so far as just testing. This is the time, guys, when you should be typing in your questions for me while I'm having a bit of a chat. So if you have any business questions, put them in the chat and I'll make sure that I scroll back through and go through them. But I think this is really important. And before I go and do a podcast or however I'm going to disseminate this information, I want to share it with you first, because that's what you guys are in this group for. The data that you have available, you actually have to spend some time looking at. And that's something we just did in our business this week. So we spent our whole team meeting on Monday, which usually goes for about an hour, looking at our newsletter analytics. And we actually segment our database out, which is why some of you say that you don't get as many emails. So we send out 3 emails a week. Some people get all 3, some people get 1, some people get 2. All depends on your engagement and what it is you've ticked that you like to, or the tagging we've used to see what you prefer to read. And I think that Anna asked me, she said, I don't seem to get newsletters. I just seem to get these like stories. That's the way we write our newsletters. Unless it's a sales-based email, the newsletters that I'm writing for you are just me talking to you. And occasionally they'll have a download, or they'll have a freebie, or they'll have a podcast episode. But I'm just telling you stories because I'm showing you what's working, and I don't need lots of pictures necessarily to do that. So that is my newsletter, Anna, that you've been getting. But whether you get 1 or 2 or 3, it's all going to depend on how much interaction you've had with me and my brand, and whether it's the podcast or courses and all that kind of stuff. So the data is really important. And I know that for a lot of people, the whole numbers thing is just, it feels like it's something that you didn't sign up for. But if you want to grow your business, you are going to have to put some time aside, preferably once a week, like just even 20 minutes. But if you can't do once a week, at least once a month. My problem with once a month is that you get to the point where you can't pivot quickly enough. So especially in e-commerce, you can't necessarily afford to wait a month if something isn't working. So going in and testing sending 3 emails a week. And I know that for some of you who've been around for a while, I did bring this back from the US. So I went to a lot of e-commerce sessions at Digital Marketer, and they were saying that best practice at the moment is 3 e-commerce emails a week. And they don't necessarily have to be sales emails, and they don't have to be long content emails. They should be a variety of all these things, but going in and testing it. Like, I'm telling you that you should send content emails, but maybe your people don't want that. Maybe they just want a picture of a product. Maybe they just want an animated GIF. Maybe they just want, 2 lines and a selection of products, which you can do in Klaviyo. You have to work out what your people want. And maybe there will be more people who want the content. So you have to cater for those people. I have to go sideways because the comments are coming up sideways. I am so ready to grow and was about to move to Klaviyo, but then was told OmniSpend is better for product-based. Hold on, I've got to click to see more. For e-commerce. I've never found a better product for e-commerce than Klaviyo. And if you go to any conference, like I'm talking to e-commerce people here and they're all using Klaviyo. Until you're at enterprise level, this is much higher end, but we're talking like you have to be multiple 8 figures or at least low 8 figures. So upwards of about 4 million, there are other products that get a lot more customized that you'll start to need. But Klaviyo is amazing. So my answer to you for that, Matt, would just be worst case scenario. And this is what I always say if you want to test something out. Klaviyo is free for up to 250, 500, 250, I think, people. Go and stick your best 249 people in there, right? Just go and try it out because it won't cost you anything. Now, inside of Klaviyo, there's a whole lot of pre-filled flows that you can just switch on. Now, I am all for customizing them, and I think you should customize them, but I've seen people making money just from flicking that button from off to on. The great thing about Klaviyo also is that it pulls in products based on browser searching. So if someone's looked at a product, it can know what they've looked at and it can make suggestions for them. I've seen people do $30,000. So I had one client that did, he had a list of 10,000 people, activewear, own brand activewear, not like Lululemon or anything like that. And he would regularly do $30,000. A lot of it from abandoned cart emails, a lot of it from win-back sequences, and then even from welcome emails. So abandoned cart was probably, so newsletter would have been his high, like regular EDM newsletters would have been his highest converter, and then abandoned cart. And I see people with 5 and 10% cart win-back. So think about that. Think if you ever go, like even looking at your abandoned cart statistics, guys, that should show in your Shopify dashboard, your WooCommerce dashboard. I think you're on, are you still on Squarespace, Matt? That will show in your data and analytics. And maybe you might have to for some programs, I know you have to upgrade to the next package to do that. It is well worth the money. Because if you can't see what's working, you can't leverage it. And if you can't see what's not working, then you're losing money hand over fist and you can't stop it. So I know that a lot of people are on that low Shopify plan that doesn't come with analytics. It's worth the $40 or whatever it is to go to the next one because that's one sale. And this is a really good way to think about investing. So I've got this really wobbly table, and as I wave my hands around, you guys are all shaking. It's a really good way to think about investing in your business is how many more sales or how many extra sales would I need to make in order for this to be profit generating. So something like Klaviyo, the low version is I think $79 I'm going to go with. That's maybe for you guys 1 or 2 sales a month. And if you can't make 1 or 2 extra sales per month out of Klaviyo, then you aren't using it. And they don't have to be huge. Like I know Ricky put a post up a little while ago. I don't think that she's still in the group now. She was one of my one-on-one clients and she moved to Klaviyo. She put 50 people in just to do this testing, like we said, and she sent out her first email and made $150. Now, $150 isn't a lot of money, but instantly she could see that it would pay for the $79 that it would cost her when she put all of her people in. So that would be my answer. I've never heard anyone rate OmniSend for an independent retail business over Klaviyo. Still on Squarespace, I check my analytics almost daily. Awesome. So have a look. I don't know anyone on Squarespace. So have a look and see if Klaviyo integrates. I'm pretty sure that it does. What it may not have is the highly customized flows. So what it does have, if you have, I know it has it for Shopify and WooCommerce, but it has a lot of extra stuff in there that is based on adding the pixel into your website. So have a look. If I get a chance, I'll have a look. Hi, Dawn. Have a look and see. But I think that we were just talking about this yesterday, and one girl was like, "We're up $30,000 over the year from moving to Klaviyo." So it's one of these things that I know I harp on about it, and it's because I'm yet to find anyone who's not making money from using it, and it's such a small amount of investment. It only does with the Zapier add-on. You know my thoughts on the old Squarespace, Matt. I told you right back at the beginning. I have another client who is on BigCommerce, and I think Zapier does actually integrate with BigCommerce, but she is finding so many problems now that she's getting to the point where she's at scale that it's just not doing it. And she messaged me last night and she's like, oh, it's broken. BigCommerce is officially broken. It can't do the things. It's the integration with Facebook has stopped. That my integration with Instagram stopped. I think I'm finally going to have to take the big jump. And BigCommerce are here. They're just over there. And I've had a chat with them. And actually, I know someone who's on BigCommerce Enterprise. So she's doing a couple of $1 million. And even she was saying to me yesterday, I'm at the point where I have to go. I feel like I'm spending so much money on a product that just doesn't do the stuff that something like Shopify or Magento. Now, I love Magento. I used to have Magento for my store, but I think it is overkill for the majority of you guys. And unless you're using something like Retail Express point of sale, that integrates with Magento. It also integrates with Shopify. Unless you are really, really, really scaling fast into you are high 6 figures, low 7 figures, then I would say yes, because I think Magento, it can outstrip what Shopify does. But then you move into Shopify Plus. So if you're doing over $1 million, Shopify Plus is, it's doing so much for, they're putting so much integration into that at base level, so it's not having to buy add-ons. Does Klaviyo continue to need upgrades? Can Klaviyo be integrated with Facebook somehow? Yes. So Klaviyo doesn't need upgrades. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Helen. Once you connect it, it updates itself. But does it integrate with Facebook? Yes. So it can actually create segments of customers for you and integrate those with Facebook ads. So you could say to Klaviyo, I want a segment of people who have spent more than $5,000 in the past 6 months, and create that segment for me and link that to Facebook ads. And so the only people who will see those Facebook ads are those customers. So again, this is much higher level than what we quite often talk about in the group. But yeah, if you are at that level, then 100% Klaviyo can do that for you. Matt says, I've used Shopify before. Squarespace works better for me, and there's nothing it doesn't do that I need right now. And that's the thing. I think Squarespace is good for people who are starting out. The problem that you have, and I'm more than happy to be told that I'm wrong, the problem that you tend to have is when you get to scale, when you want to start doing things like product landing pages or cross promotions and upsells and integrations with things like Klaviyo. But even saying that, the app store for Shopify and even Magento and even BigCommerce is so much more diverse that I think you will get to the point, Matt, where you will realize that it's not going to do what you need it to do. But 100%, I have an art gallery on Squarespace, but they don't sell e-commerce. So it does exactly what they need to do. It's quite simple, it's easy to use, it's pretty, as in it's pretty out of the box, as in it's a beautiful, you can have beautiful templates out of the box, and it works perfectly for them. But they aren't going into e-commerce. They are never going to have to worry about wholesale. They're never going to have to worry about a whole bunch of things that I think you're going to have to worry about. And by the way you're going, Matt, I've still got those magazines at home for you too. The way you're going, I think you're going to need those sooner rather than later. And I don't know, I'm just not a fan of doing things more than once. I'm so lazy when it comes to that. But it's working for you now. So don't break what's not broken, don't fix what's not broken, and just keep it until you get to that point. But for you, Matt, I would say just be aware, because you are watching your analytics, knowing that when you move to Shopify, you don't just want to recreate what you have, you want the next better thing. So you want a lot of those integrations that you probably aren't using now, and that's going to take time to build out. And I know that you built the Squarespace thing all by yourself. I think for you to build out a decent Shopify and do some research on the apps that you're going to need and put all those in place, you're probably looking at a couple of months if you're going to do it yourself. So just being aware that when you get to that point, to give yourself probably 3 months to build that Shopify website in the background if you're not going to outsource it. But this is a really good exercise in customer journey, right? For Matt I've known Matt now for 6 or 7 months. We like his product. We will buy his product. We just haven't had the prompt to buy the product. for whatever reason, whether that prompt is a need, like a barbecue in our street, or it's some retargeting with some Facebook ads. It's at the moment for you, Matt, you're relying on me remembering to go to the website and remembering to buy it. It's kind of like those magazines. You should really send me an email. They're sitting on my bench waiting to be posted to you, but I always forget. Helen, does Klaviyo have a service where they set up flows for me, or do I really need a developer for that? Basically, is that easy for me to do? There are a few people in the group who've done it, but that's actually a service that we offer. So you're more than happy to drop us an email and we can tell you what we charge to set it all up. We can do your emails for you, or you can, obviously that's a little bit more expensive to do the copywriting, or you can just choose the service to set it all up and integrate for you. So any more questions? Steph, do you have any questions? I can bring Stephanie on camera. Stephanie, oh, you're sideways, sorry.
Okay, let me get straight. Okay, anyway. I have looked a little bit. Wednesday's my day to work in the shop. So I was working today. So I haven't checked all the stuff on the website yet. And we do need to set up a time for a phone call for that. So whenever you get off of here, you go ahead and send me a message and we'll schedule that phone call, because I did see a few things that we want to talk about. But, I came to the realization today, I've been looking, I lost my store manager and all that, but I've been looking and trying to decide whether I need another person. No, I just need a virtual assistant because they can do it faster than I can. And I'm just going to work in the shop and let them do all the paperwork stuff. So, yeah.
I think for now, for where you're at in your business, that may not be a bad thing, because you and I both know that the systems and processes still need to be ironed out in your business. So I think going back in will give you time to refine those systems and processes. And like you said, even just outsourcing some of that stuff like the product uploads and newsletters and all that kind of stuff, it's going to free up the time for you to be focusing on scaling the business. And I hope, what's the date today? Because how's that website going?
I think there's about 3 or 4 pictures that are not on there, but we're done, except for, finishing up all that stuff that just got downloaded. Yeah, we're done.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations. So Stephanie had a bit of a, for those who are listening, that Stephanie had a bit of a goal that she had to get her website pretty much finished by the end of the month. And I think we're at like the 27th or something here in Australia today. So great work. There are a few tweaks that need to be made. But again, they're processes that we just need to go through and sort out. But for those of you who have bricks and mortar stores and don't necessarily have a website that you use a lot, Stephanie realised really quickly that it was hindering you in a lot of ways, wasn't it? When you sent out an email, you didn't actually have anywhere to direct people to.
Right.
But most importantly, even though you were doing complete gangbusters, like I'm so impressed because Stephanie lives in a town of 7,000 people and is absolutely nailing it. When everyone tells me that the economy's in a downturn, Stephanie is going, I've had my best year on record, which is all the case when you actually know who you're talking to and you bring the product in that the customers want to see. You start talking to them the way they want to talk to. But most importantly, you start putting those systems and processes in and understanding where your money goes and where it's coming and leveraging those kinds of things. So do you have any questions, Stephanie?
It's been a whirlwind day, and I missed the first part of the discussion. So what was the gist of tonight's discussion, just talking?
So today we were talking about how you can no longer expect a one-size-fits-all business to generate money, which you know yourself. So just a quick backstory for people who are watching. Stephanie, when I met you about a year ago, I think it was, you were struggling to sell $5 flip-flops.
Right.
You were relying on really heavy discounts just to move stock. Mm-hmm. And now you are doing 4-figure days, thousands of dollars a day, and you have a beautiful store that is highly targeted to a select group of people in your small town, and it's working. And you're also building all those relationships. So Stephanie's worked out that relationship building, especially in small towns, is really important to grow your business. It's not just about the customers. It's about your brand as a brand.
Right.
Yeah. Throw in a couple of nuggets of wisdom that you've learned.
Like I just said, if you don't need everybody who wants to buy something for $30. Fire those customers. Send them to Walmart and get you a nice brand in there. And, you need to buy this because A, B, C, D. And if this is not for you, sorry, see you. Go to Walmart.
Actually, I've just come off stage. Oh, she's wearing this beautiful blue skirt. We had the Chief Innovation Officer from Walmart Canada up doing the morning keynote, talking about all the ways that they're innovating within the business. And it's quite strange quite different that all the people on the innovation team are actually, it's not an actual team. They're all volunteers from the business. So they have their regular day jobs and then they're part of the innovation team kind of as a extracurricular activity. And yet they're doing some amazing things. So yeah, innovation starts with you as the leader. And I know that you've done a really good job with that. You've really empowered your team, Stephanie, to take on a lot more responsibility, and you've trained them to be confident in working in the business.
They ask me, okay, can I do this? I'm like, you know what you can and cannot do, get with it. And they just run with it. I'm not going to say you can't put this there and you can't put that on sale this week. They know the processes that we have put in place. If it's been there more than X amount of time, if the season's coming where in the South, people don't wear white after Labor Day. So, we got to clear out our white. It's crazy. But you're right. The processes are in place, and that's something that you have to do. Just today, I spent 3 hours doing payroll, and I'm like, maybe I need to just pay somebody to do all of payroll.
Or you could automate a lot of that.
Right. Well, I do have a lot of it automated, but not fully. But I'm just ready to let that stuff go. And just like you said, grow my business because I have faith in myself now that, I don't have to take that $5 customer or somebody that wants a $20 shirt. I can sell it to the best of those.
Love it. All right. There are no more questions. I can't see any coming through. Then if you do have anything, pop it in underneath this chat when we finish, and I'll pop back in a little bit later and make sure. Just quickly, we've got a new intern who's helping me work on Instagram. So if you are not following me on Instagram, I'd really appreciate it if you would, because I have committed for the next 3 months that I am going to go hardcore and try Instagram. So I'm the Selena Knight on Instagram. If you aren't following me, start following me so that I can show her that I'm doing a good job promoting my Instagram. Okay, you guys have a great rest of the week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, Matt. See ya.
So that's a wrap. I'd love to hear what insight you've gotten from this episode and how you're going to put it into action. If you're a social kind of person, follow me at The Selena Knight and make sure to leave a comment and let me know. And if this episode made you think a little bit differently, or gave you some inspiration, or perhaps gave you the kick that you needed to take action, then please take a couple of minutes to leave me a review on your platform of choice. Because the more reviews the show gets, the more independent retail and e-commerce stores just like yours that we can help to scale. And when that happens, it's a win for you, a win for your community, and a win for your customers. I'll see you on the next episode.